Can you road trip a 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz? Well, I'm here to share my anecdotal experience of it. So, if you don't know, my name's Jason. I have a beautiful wife and two lovely children, ages 3 and 4. And we recently purchased a 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz Pro S. Now, one of the main concerns we have, or we had, and I think a lot of people share this same concern when moving from a gas vehicle to an electric vehicle, is the road tripping ability. Will it get me where I need to go? Will I be stranded on the side of the road with a dead battery while all the other gas vehicles just zoom past me and laugh at me because I was an early adopter and it didn't work out well. So, that's a common fear everybody had. That's a concern I had for sure. So just wanted to share my anecdotal experience and hopefully encourage you to maybe take the dive if you're on the fence. So one thing that I will get out of the way, a couple things I'll get out of the way actually before I start. One, the TradDad does a great road trip review of his 2025 ID Buzz. It's orange and white. It's a beautiful car. He took a trip from his home down to Florida. I think it was about a 2,500 mile road trip. And he did a great review. Inspired me to take the dive to the ID Buzz myself and to document my first road trip. So if you want to check out his video, I will put a link to it in the description. Highly recommend you check his video out and the rest of his videos on his channel. It's the TradDad, and again, I'll link him in the description. Second thing, I'm not naive. I know that if you wanted to get down to the basic math of it, you could take a 2011 Toyota Sienna and get to a destination faster than me in a brand new electric Buzz. So if you are looking for a somebody trying to justify and say that it's the same, yeah, you won't find it here. It's not the same. You will spend a little bit more time, a little bit more planning on doing a road trip in an EV. So to me, it's completely worth it. I don't want to drive a Toyota. I don't want to drive a Honda. I want to drive a Volkswagen van. I think they're cool. I really like Volkswagen. I've had two other Volkswagens. My wife and I have a 2018 Tiguan, a 2019 Atlas, and took a brief break from Volkswagen to join the minivan life in a 2018 Chrysler Pacifica, and then came out of that into the Volkswagen ID Buzz. So love vans. If Volkswagen didn't have a van, I'd still be driving a Chrysler probably, because in my opinion, vans are just the best vehicle for families to have. But we're that's a discussion for another video. So just a couple of disclaimers. Now that we got those out of the way, I will jump right into our experience. So we left our home in Athens, Alabama, going to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, which is in East Tennessee, a very popular vacation destination for families and pretty much anybody, especially in the southeastern United States, but really nationwide. So we saw a lot of car tags from New Jersey, Texas, New York, Oregon, just wherever. So pretty cool destination spot. A lot of stuff to do there. Would highly recommend going if you haven't been. I've been going all my life. So that's what our destination was, and I'll put a video, like a snippet of the map or something on the screen so you can see. So we left with a 100% charge. We charged the vehicle up to 100%. We do not normally do that. We usually charge to 80% as recommended by Volkswagen and pretty much any other EV automaker. Just charging a battery to 100% all the time will degrade the battery and make the battery not last as long. And that's true with the car. That's true with phones. That's true with anything. So we usually charge to 80, but for road trips, we will charge to 100 to maximize our range. So we set off with 100%. I believe we had, 227 miles of range estimate when we left, and that's with the AC running and the navigation going and whatnot. So we left, and about 90 miles in, I did a range check, and it was pretty accurate. So we had driven right at 90 miles, and it was right at 90 miles deducted from the range. So I think Volkswagen put a lot of effort into that. I think they realized that a lot of consumers have the same concerns that I had. Is the range accurate? Am I going to be able to make it to where I need to go? It's just a little bit of a transition. So I will say, from my experience, the range estimate is very accurate, and I maintain that. I'm still seeing accurate readings on my range. So we used the Volkswagen's in-car navigation to plot out our trip. It will plan charging stops for you. They did a great job with that system to be able to visualize where you need to stop, and you can even set parameters of how much charge you want to have left when you arrive at your destination, and all those different kinds of things you can play with and customize. So I like to have a little bit of charge left. I don't like to run it down to almost zero. So I think I have it set to where I want to arrive with like maybe 70 miles of range or something. But you can play with that and see the system's pretty easy to use. So the system had us stopping at one stop. I actually stopped at two, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But our first stop was at the Walmart in Ooltewah, Tennessee. I don't know how to pronounce that, Ooltewah or Ooltewah, but it was right outside of Chattanooga. There's an Electrify America charging station. If you didn't know, if you get a new ID Buzz, or at least when I bought mine, you get 500 kilowatt hours of free charging. So I had that ready to go, and that's at Electrify America only. So I prioritized Electrify America. There's actually a toggle button for that in the car's navigation. So I toggled that button, and that was the stop that it put me at. So Electrify America is my preferred charging stops just because of the free charging. And in my experience, they have been pretty easy to use and reliable. So probably not as reliable as Tesla superchargers, but we can't use Tesla superchargers yet. So the day's coming where Volkswagens will be able to, but and then it'll be a lot easier to plan trips. But for right now, that's not the case. So, but that's no problem. Pulled up to the first charging stop at the Walmart there. Plugged right in. I have my vehicle enrolled in I don't know what it's called. I'm going to call it Plug and Play for Electrify America. I have the app and everything, and the free charging subscription, and plugged right in. Didn't have to fool with the app, didn't have to fool with the screen on the charger, anything like that. I just plugged right in. It recognized my vehicle, it recognized my free charging plan, and it started charging the vehicle right away. The charging speeds I saw, I didn't pay too close attention to it, but I think I know I saw about an average of 150 kilowatt hours. I don't know the exact terminology to use, but I know the number was about 150, I think, kilowatt hours. That was the speed that I was getting. So from about 40, maybe 30 something to 40% to 100%. I did charge to 100% at the charging stops because there was plenty of chargers available, and I have the free charging, so it didn't cost me any extra. Charged right up to 100%. It took 25 to 30 minutes, which, if you're like me and have kids, by the time you get out of the car, get them through the parking lot and into the store and into the bathroom, and maybe pick up a snack, or they want to look at some toys or something like that, 25 minutes goes by very quickly. As a matter of fact, I found myself at a couple of our stops saying, hey, we got to get back to the car, because they will charge you an idle fee of, I think it's like 40 cents a minute if you let the car idle while it's not charging after the charging session's completed. So they want you to move in and out so other people can use the charger. So so I actually had that issue of getting back to the car on time, not sitting around waiting for the car. So So if you have a family like me, there's really no issue with stopping to charge and getting out and stretching and using the restroom, and really wasn't a big deal at all. So headed out from there to our second stop, which was put in the route by yours truly. Excuse me, because I wanted to have pretty much a full charge when we got there. So I didn't want to have to worry about charging while I was there and let that affect, which attractions I visited, or tried to plan that out while I was trying to take my kids to do something fun. Or I wanted to have close to a full charge when I got there. So there's an Electrify America charging station in Kodak, Tennessee, right as you're getting off the interstate and heading into Sevierville. It was about 15 miles from the cabin we were staying in. So stop there. It's the Thunderhead Harley Davidson in Kodak, Tennessee. Great charging stop. Pulled right in, same thing as before, plugged the vehicle right in, started charging right away, recognized my free charging, didn't charge me anything, like, charge my account anything, it charged my vehicle. But it recognized my free charging, and I was good to go. Again, it took me, I think I was around 35-40%. Took me around 25-30 minutes to charge the vehicle. We sat and ate our lunch while it was charging. It was at a Harley Davidson dealership, so we got to go in and see the cool motorcycles. My little boy, he's 3. He absolutely loved it. He got to see a motorcycle get started up inside the store and driven out, and he thought it was the coolest thing ever. And my daughter did too. So it was a really cool thing to see. And if you take trips in an EV, you might find yourself in different places like that you might not necessarily find. So it's a pretty cool opportunity to get new experiences and make memories if you look at it from an optimistic point of view. Now, if you're trying to charge and you're almost dead, your vehicle's almost dead, and you're trying to find a charger and it's in a rough part of town or something, that could easily go the other way. But if you take some time to plan and make sure that where you're going to stop is pretty safe and doable, then it was great. So no complaints on the second charging stop. Had about 91% when we finally made it to Pigeon Forge, yeah, we made it there. Went to do some fun stuff when we got there. Went to ride go-karts, and if you've been to Pigeon Forge, you know that everything around there is stop and go traffic on the parkway. So EVs are very efficient in stop and go traffic as opposed to being on the highway. Your range drops a lot faster on the interstate or on the highway than it does in stop and go traffic, which is the opposite of gas cars. So that's something to get used to. But 91% was plenty of range for what we had planned while we were there. So if you've been to Pigeon Forge, you know that you're constantly driving up a steep incline. If you go anywhere outside of the parkway at all, like for example, we went to Cades Cove one of the days we were there, and that was the day that the van really shined. I was very happy with its performance. We drove up to Cades Cove, was about 30 miles away. The entrance to Cades Cove was about 30 miles away from our cabin. The loop you drive your vehicle through, and you can bike it or whatever, but most people drive around the loop in Cades Cove to see they have various places to pull over and see like old cabins, and they have park rangers there to answer questions. It's a really cool place. Just as a side note, if you haven't been there and enjoy nature and seeing how things used to look, back in the 1800s and older. So really neat. Got to experience that with the kids. But 30 miles there, 11-mile loop around in Cades Cove, and then 30 miles back. And because of the incline and then going down the mountain, I was able to take advantage of the regenerative braking. So you're looking at 71-mile trip. I think my mileage estimate dropped like 30 miles. So I was really happy with the performance. Was nowhere near, the mileage estimate was nowhere near what the actual trip was. So I was really pleased with that. It was handles going up mountains and stuff, just great. I mean, coming from a gas vehicle, my Chrysler had a 9-speed transmission in it, our previous van, and it was a good van. You know, we could take it on road trips and stuff, but um, just just the handling and the going up the mountains and coming down the mountains in an electric vehicle, there's really no comparison. I mean, it handles the steep inclines very well. You can take advantage of the regenerative braking on the way down. It's really a win-win. Um, so I had a great experience that day. Had a great experience the rest of the trip, sightseeing and doing various other things with the kids and with the rest of the family. By the way, in Cades Cove, my parents were in the third row and had plenty of room. There's way more leg room in the ID Buzz than there is in any of the other vans I've driven. I've had a Chrysler, I've test drove a Toyota, and a Honda, and you know, I don't have the measurements, but just in my opinion, I'm 6'4", and my kids are both really tall for their age, and we all had plenty of room. My parents had plenty of room in the back. It sits up very high. It actually has kind of like running board, not really true running boards, but kind of like a step up to get up into the van, as opposed to a normal van is just like at you know, normal level. Like, you don't have to really get up or down into a normal van. So it sits up really high and kind of gives you that bus feel. You know, Buzz, it's a bus. You know, kind of gives you that that feel of being up like in a bus or an RV. So really cool. I really love the way it drives. It handles really well. I drive a 2018 F-150. That's my vehicle. The Buzz is really my wife's vehicle, but it's our family vehicle, you know. It actually sits up higher than my truck. I think my truck isn't lifted or anything like that, but that just gives you an idea of kind of how it sits. You really feel like you're driving a larger vehicle, which you are. So it's really, really cool. Yeah, so that was our experience on the way back. I stopped at the Harley Davidson dealership again, charged up to 100%, and got to see the Bass Pro Shop there. I'd never been in a Bass Pro Shop, I don't believe, that I remember anyway. So that was a great stop. Took about 30 minutes again. I think I was like at 30% when I stopped there. And then, sorry, I heard something in the background there. Then I stopped at the Volkswagen plant in Chattanooga on the way back. Charged up there. Got to see a lot of other cool buzzes and stuff. Saw another ID Buzz at the first stop at Walmart as well. Pretty cool mahi green. I'll put that in the video. And then stopped at the Volkswagen dealership in Chattanooga and charged up there, and then made it the rest of the way home. So it was a great trip overall. If you're on the fence about getting an ID Buzz or any electric vehicle but are worried about the road trip, I'd encourage you to go ahead and give it a try. It is something I haven't regretted yet. I've had it for about almost 2 months now, and I've taken that trip and I've done a lot of other daily driving with it, and it's just been a great vehicle for us. So looking forward to taking more trips, and hope you enjoyed the video, and God bless. Hey, it's Jason real quick. While I was editing the video, I forgot to mention that one thing about the ID Buzz is, especially when you're on a vacation like that in a town like Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg, you see a lot of different people from a lot of different places, and a lot of them have something to say about the Buzz. So I can't tell you how many people stopped and wanted to look at the van or tell me that they liked it or ask me questions about it or something like that. So to me, that's a good thing. I mean, I enjoy talking about cars in general, not just electric cars or my cars, but just any vehicles. But if you don't enjoy that, then maybe steer clear of the ID Buzz, at least until they become a little bit more popular. But anyway, just wanted to include that, and God bless.